Hey everyone, welcome to Porter's Product Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Porter, and today we're exploring the dynamic intersection of demand generation or growth marketing and product marketing from a growth marketer's perspective. Our guest today is Ginny Lalonde, Senior Manager in Digital Marketing. She brings valuable experience from her previous roles at Core, Profix, and Market Space Design Group, and she holds a bachelor's degree from Western University. Jenny, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Josh. I'm excited to be here and share some insights on demand gen.
Absolutely. Well, let's dive right in. So, as a growth marketer, how do you collaborate with product marketing to ensure that your demand generation campaigns are built on consistent and compelling messaging frameworks that truly result in the product's unique value proposition?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for me, I see product marketers as the architects of the product story and demand generation as kind of the megaphone. So we need to be singing the same tune and very aligned. And from my point of view, early involvement in product positioning is crucial, and understanding the why behind the product and also leveraging the product marketer's expertise on the ICP audience and who would benefit the most from this particular product is really important to start. Collaborative audits to the messaging I find are also helpful. Comparing campaign creatives to the core product messaging using shared platforms for real-time feedback is really helpful for brainstorming and customer journey alignment, just to ensure consistent messaging across all touch points from ads to landing pages. And also message focused A/B testing. I like to do A/B testing, different variations based on the product's unique selling points, providing data driven feedback to the product marketers. And this kind of ensures our demand generation campaigns not only drive results, but also amplify the product's true value as defined by the product experts, such as yourself.
Yeah, no, that's great. I like how you said that. I never really thought of product marketing being the architects, but I like that analogy. The analogy I like to think of is that product marketing is like the water, and that the growth marketing are the pipes. So we provide that content that you direct that content towards, being the pipes. So I think that's good. Those are kind of good ways to kind of think about that. And then I like how you mentioned there too about the ways that you do that, and kind of partnering with product marketing, of course, to make sure, are we talking about the product right? Is the technical integrity there? Are we talking in a way that the audience understands it? Are we talking to the right audience, period? Are we going to the right channels the audience goes to? Those types of things. And then I like how you said, like, the testing that you do to ensure, before you send it out to, mass group of people, you're able to see what works and what doesn't with some data, so that you have confidence when you do these mass campaigns. So I appreciate that.
Always back it up with data.
Absolutely. Speaking of which, so as we talk about backing things up with data, what strategies do you use to integrate insights from your demand generation campaigns into product marketing tactics? And how do you create an effective feedback loop between these teams? So obviously you talked about A/B testing before a campaign goes out, but what else do you do in that process to be data driven?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think data is the bridge between demand generation and product marketing. It's a crucial bridge, and we need a closed loop system for seamless insight flow. And from a digital marketer's perspective, like myself, this means shared dashboards. So working closely with marketing operations to build shared dashboards, tracking key metrics like conversion rates, click-through rates, cost per click, and just giving us that holistic campaign view, that are self-serve dashboards. So product marketing can check in whenever they feel like it, and we can check in when we feel like it. That way you're not relying on someone else to know how the campaign is doing. And also holding regular feedback sessions. I like to hold frequent meetings to share campaign insights, focusing on the quantitative data. Also, attribution modeling is really important. We use UTM tracking and sophisticated attribution models to pinpoint effective touch points and optimize marketing spend. And I find this data-driven approach ensures we're constantly refining both our demand generation and product marketing efforts, creating that powerful feedback loop.
Yeah, I like that. Kind of shared dashboard is important. Just kind of keeps you both on that pulse together of what's happening and how things are performing, and then tracking, things like you mentioned, UTMs, and
Yeah.
understanding, how that's performing.
Hmm.
And staying in kind of this lockstep relationship so that you understand as the pipes and the water are working,
Yeah.
working together, that you're going in the right direction. So,
Hmm.
so that's great. Yeah, I think those are some pretty key steps to kind of share on how you make sure that relationships tied together and that you're using the right data to understand you're reaching the right audience and that they're engaging with the content.
Exactly. Absolutely.
So, as you do think about how things are performing, you have to balance immediate results with long term brand building, and that can be challenging. So, how do you balance these priorities, and what metrics do you rely on to measure the success of collaboration between demand generation and product marketing?
Yeah, so balancing the short-term wins with the long-term brand building is kind of a constant dance that people forget about, but
Yeah.
it's essential for sustainable growth. And I aim for more of a now and later approach. First, the strategic planning is key, and we collaborate to develop a plan that prioritizes campaigns that are driving immediate results while also investing in brand awareness and loyalty on the side,
Yeah.
and allocating budget to brand building campaigns, focusing on content, social engagement, and community building helps to create that positive brand image, but that's more of a long game. And we also focus on funnel optimization and nurturing leads from top of funnel awareness to bottom of funnel acquisition, and ensuring that we warm the audience up to our brand before we ask them to submit a form. And in terms of specific metrics that I like to track for campaign performance, I like to focus on KPIs like click through rate, cost per click, cost per lead, or
Yeah.
cost per conversion rate, and obviously number of leads and conversions generated from form fills. And we also obviously like to look at MQLs, marketing qualified leads,
Yeah.
and pipeline velocity to see how much we're contributing to pipeline. And these metrics just give us a real-time pulse on campaign performance and efficiency. And ultimately, I use an iterative approach, constantly testing and refining our strategies based on the data we're seeing. And it just allows me to adapt quickly to optimize the campaigns based on the data that I'm seeing. And this approach ensures that we're not just chasing quick wins, but also building a strong, lasting brand that people trust.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's good. And I'm glad you shared those KPIs. That's really important to kind of think about, like,
Mm-hmm.
when you're looking at the goals and the metrics that you're trying to hit. Those are the ways to kind of help you understand that if you're going in the right direction, that hopefully you're getting the immediate results, but also over time, that is what's helping you build that brand, that kind of larger brand building momentum that you're hoping to get. So,
Absolutely.
so yeah, so those are some great kind of frameworks and KPIs to kind of think about when you're trying to balance both of those short-term and long-term goals.
Mm-hmm.
So, last question, specifically on the relationship between product marketing and growth marketing, is can you share a specific example or success story where the close collaboration between demand generation and product marketing significantly boosted growth? And what were the practices that contributed to that success?
Yeah, so I've had great experiences working with product marketers, particularly in a previous role. We launched a new product feature directly addressing key customer pain points in the retail space. The product marketing team developed a powerful messaging framework that highlighted its unique value, and it was very clear to us on the demand gen side how to amplify that. So we launched a highly integrated campaign combining paid advertising efforts with other channels and maintaining that consistency with the product marketing framework that they expertly laid out. And we used very targeted segmentation to reach the exact audience that would benefit the most from the pain points that this product addressed. And what really made this campaign a success was our rapid iteration. We had regular stand-ups to analyze performance quickly and make data-driven adjustments based on the story the metrics were telling us. And the results were incredible. Campaign performance was well above benchmark, and we had a ton of leads coming in. And I think the key practices that drove this success were open communication, also shared goals, making sure that we're completely aligned there, and making those data-driven decisions, that every decision we make was informed by data and not just by gut feeling. and also customer centricity, just keeping the customer in mind with everything we're doing. And this experience really solidified for me how crucial the collaboration between product marketing and demand gen is for driving real growth.
I love that. That's great. So if I understood, that was a good example to kind of show that collaboration. And I think you pointed out 4 things there. Is one, the kind of the shared goals. That's always important, because if you don't have shared goals, then you kind of going off and doing your own thing. And so that's important. And then the collaboration obviously is being key. And then also having the ability to iterate quickly in midst of a campaign, to just, if you know it's not going in the right direction, being able to make those pivots. And you can't do that on your own. You can't do that in isolation. You have to change with the rest of the group that's involved in that. And so between product marketing and demand generation, you have to be able to be nimble for certain cases like that. And so
absolutely.
You have to have that relationship in order to do that, especially in times when you do it quickly.
Absolutely. And I like the point that you made about you can't do it alone. It's definitely much easier to work closely with the product marketers so that they're fully aware of what's going on. And sometimes they have some insights that you might not have. They might point out, like, well, this messaging might not be the best to highlight for this particular ad campaign. This one might be better, or like, these are the top 3 pain points that we should address here. Sometimes their insight isn't valuable there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, fantastic insights, Ginny. Your experiences, I think, really illustrate how integrated strategies and ongoing collaboration with and between product marketing and demand generation can really drive results.
Mm-hmm.
So now, before we wrap up, of course, we have the final rapid fire round. Right. So that we can get to know you even better and maybe get some tips along the way. You ready for it, Ginny?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. Number 1, what's your favorite marketing tool?
So I don't know if this is breaking the rules, but I have 3 that I want to call out. For audience targeting, LinkedIn Campaign Manager is my favorite because it's so specific and so targeted. And then for intent-based segmentation, 6 Sense to me is a game changer. For attribution tracking, Octane 11 gives me a clear, holistic view of campaign performance. So those 3 are my favorite by far.
That's great. No, those are definitely handy tools. So, always good to kind of know, what's in your toolbox.
Yeah.
All right. So, second question, what is the most underrated skill in product marketing from your perspective?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think top of mind for me is the ability to translate technical product details into compelling customer-facing language is huge for a product marketing skill. And product marketers are kind of the bridge between engineering and marketing, and that communication is absolutely essential in my opinion.
Yeah, it's about making the technical relatable.
Yes, exactly. That's right.
That's a big, very key skill.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What do you think is the biggest mistake to avoid in product marketing from your perspective?
So I think if you don't know very deeply, you don't have a deep understanding about the product's unique value proposition and how to articulate it, just in general, that is a big mistake. And you're going to struggle to communicate to the rest of the team how they should market that product. So that would be my first thing.
Awesome. Totally makes sense. Very related to your previous answer. So,
yes.
What's one thing you wished you knew when you had started?
I would say the importance of building a strong data infrastructure from day one, strong attribution model that's properly configured, and a single source of truth. That is huge. When you get started, you realize that, but now it's very clear. So I make sure that's a priority with all of my roles.
Yeah, absolutely. Having the right infrastructure really helps your role, particularly in growth marketing when you're tracking so many different types of metrics. So,
right, absolutely.
Marketing attributions is important for both growth and product marketing because if you can't really prove the impact of your work, then it's hard to really show your values.
Exactly. What's the point if you can't prove the value, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Last question is, what's your favorite podcast?
So I've been really excited about this podcast called Perpetual Traffic, and it's kind of my go-to for paid social strategies and tactics and just picking up on new technology and best practices that are constantly coming out. It just helps me stay on top of my game. So that's
awesome.
My favorite. Yeah.
I'll have to check that out myself. Yeah.
Yes, highly recommend.
Always kind of good to learn from others on, way they approach like certain topics. So
Yeah.
I got a lot of product marketing and product podcasts I listen to. This one sounds really good specifically for growth marketing. So
Yeah, absolutely. Highly recommend. And they break it down into really easy to understand bite-sized information. So you don't have to be a digital marketer or a growth marketer to follow along.
awesome. That's really good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Awesome answers, Jenny. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate the insights that you've given on how demand generation can work hand in hand with product marketing.
Thanks so much, Josh. It's been a pleasure chatting with these about these strategies with you.
Absolutely. Well, and to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Porter's Product Marketing Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, share it with your network. We'll be back soon with more insights to help you drive growth and excel in your product marketing journey. Until next time, keep innovating and keep making an impact.
Still recording.